Yes, I know I need a haircut, but it's going to wait. See how more gray it can get. Back out walking the beach here in Da Nang, Vietnam. Beautiful morning as usual. I was just thinking this morning, I've been so busy lately that I haven't really taken a lot of time to reflect on where I am now as opposed to a couple of years ago. I was sitting in my car working literally 70 to 90 hours a week on surveillance, just being miserable. Headed straight to the bar afterwards, because that's what I figured people did after a long day at work. And then on my days off, I would start drinking early in the morning and kind of just ruin the whole day. I mean, it didn't feel ruined at the time. It felt pretty awesome, actually. I loved it. I loved going to the bars. I loved my friends there. I actually can't wait to see them again, the ones in Florida. But, just a super unproductive, unhealthy. It's killing my body. My liver's got some irreversible damage that I have to keep an eye on now for the rest of my life, however long that is. So anyway, fast forward 2 years, and here we are, walking the beach in a foreign country. This will be my 5th stop now since leaving the U.S., working completely remote, making more money than I was making in Florida. And you need a sizable amount of money to live in Florida, so that's no joke there. And just being healthy overall. I mean, do I still drink? Sure. Once every couple of weeks. Probably going to drink later today. Looking forward to it, actually, for a couple of reasons. A, I just love it. Anybody who stops drinking and says that they don't think about it, but maybe that's true for them, it's not for me. I mean, I still miss it. I still enjoy doing it. But it also, and when I do it these days, really messes me up. I mean, I'm down for like 2 days. And that's good and bad, because it's also a reminder of why I don't do it every day anymore. So I try to just limit it to a couple times a month. Should I be drinking it all? Probably not. But, it's, every now and again, you just have to do what you want to do. I mean, it is truly amazing what you'd accomplish when there's more hours of the day, when you're not buzzed or drunk on alcohol or anything else you want to put in your bodies. I'm on 550 or so days of writing, copywriting, since I started this job. So that puts me, that was the day we left the U.S. for Apply the Farm a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever. So I've been able to build a pretty substantial business and marketing agency since then in less than 2 years' time, but that's only because I got healthier. I mean, I'm not super healthy. You can hear me breathing heavy probably trying to walk down the damn beach, but you take my point there. And then without drinking all the time, I was able to use those extra hours to learn and everything else that goes along with not constantly poisoning yourself. So had you asked me 2 years ago if I'd be living overseas or anywhere but Fort Lauderdale, for that matter, not drinking as much and doing a completely different job than what I had before, that would have just been like such a stupid thought. And yet here we are. So it's totally doable. I'm not going to say it was an easy fix. Not like some of those things you see online, you take this or do this, take my course and get financial freedom in 30 days. It's more like a year. But this is a stable income that's growing every day that will set me up to live comfortably wherever I want in the world, however I want, on my terms, for hopefully the rest of my life. So, there's no quick fix here, but it's also not impossible. With the right mindset, a little bit of help, and just a little bit of learning, you can pretty much figure anything out. And it does feel a little overwhelming at first, especially all the goal setting and everything you have to accomplish. So I just take my day, half a day at a time, decide, get up in the morning, go for these walks. I still do it now. Even when I was learning, I didn't have any money coming in from the writing or the marketing. I was still doing this kind of stuff, just breaking my day up. I mean, there was a good 6 months there where I wasn't making any money at all, or longer, I forget. But I stuck to it, broke my day up into sections, just worried about what I was going to do for the next hour. And then, look, fast forward 2 damn years. So can anybody do it? Maybe not. But those that are willing to put in a little bit of hard work, and believe me, I'm not the hardest working guy in the world. So if I can do it, somebody who's got some drive, who wants to get out of that 9 to 5 corporate or whatever job you're in, even if you're working remote already, you just want to get out of where you're at. One of the biggest deciding factors for me, one of the things that kind of scared me at the beginning, was I was 40 at the time when I decided to do all this. So I'm like, well, okay, most people are looking at retiring around 40, 50, 60, somewhere in there. Well, I know that number gets higher all the time now. So I'm like, well, do I really need to change my career completely and start over? And I didn't know. I just figured I would take a chance to see if it worked. And sure enough, it did. I think people kind of get in that rut where you do something for so long and you figure that's what you have to do forever. I think there's a lot of fear of just starting over with a new job after retirement. Let's say you retire at 60 something, but you're not, you want to be productive, but you don't want to start new somewhere. You want to kind of roll in with the same status and freedoms you had, being a little bit older with your last career. And that's the best thing about remote work, is you can do your day how you want. So it's kind of being semi-retired anyway, or at least with your scheduling. So I went through that, being 40 and starting this over. And thought, well, I'm too young to not work, obviously, but I'm too old to start, brand new working at a grocery store, or, you name it, business, where I'm the new guy scrubbing toilets and everything else. And remote work is giving me everything I've looked for. And again, it hasn't been easy, but it's doable. And for anybody out there who's my age or kind of sitting in that corporate realm, whether you're stuck somewhere or you're already remote, just getting out of having to work for somebody, having a boss. Starting and running a business has its own set of challenges, and there are some long hours here and there. Anybody who says you could do this only working 2 or 3 hours a day, they're either not making that much money, they found something really great, or they're just flat out lying. But you only have to work hard for so long. I mean, again, in a year and a half, I was able to get back up to the same income I had in Florida. That may sound like a long time right now if you're stuck in that corporate world and you're like, oh, I don't have a year and a half, but it goes by fast. I mean, just think about everything else in your life that you've done, that you wake up and you're like, that's been a year already. So just imagine if you applied yourself for a year and a half, and could skip all the mistakes that I've made and learn from all the things that worked for me, which you can do, which is part of the program that we're building up, that Reese and I are building up. We've got the 4th podcast out. We should have the next one out by the end of next week. And we're slowly building out the coursework and community stuff. But in the meantime, we're available for coaching or advice. I kind of hate that word, coaching, that term coaching. I think it gets overused these days. But essentially that's what it is. Somebody to help you along, to help skip the mistakes that they made and just guide you and see things that you can't see. Somebody that's outside, outside your circle, outside your own head. And that would have definitely sped my success up a little bit. And I did get some coaching here and there. I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, but it definitely helped. I probably could have gotten where I am today. It took me 18 months. I probably could have done it in 6 months, but I was, for whatever reason, I just kind of like, well, I don't know about these programs. I want to spend the money, but think about all the money that I lost because I didn't pay for more coaching or pay attention to one of the great coaches that I had. Shout out to Francis. I just didn't spend a lot of time interacting with the group or learning as fast as I could have. So I could have been successful even sooner had I taken seriously. So again, it's not for everybody, but there are ways to fast track, and we're working on building out program and processes for that. But in the meantime, we're going to be posting more stupid videos like this, and we've got the podcast up, and we will be doing some one-on-one exclusive coaching for those that want to kind of learn or at least get a consult in to see what your goals are and if something like this is even viable, just to explore the idea of, getting out of where you are now, whether that's physically leaving your location or just getting a better job or just earning some side income. I hate to call it a side hustle because I believe that whatever you do, you should put yourself all into. But essentially, what I do now could be done as a side hustle or a side job. So anyway, take care, everybody. I'm going to finish my walk here and probably drink beer later today. It's been a while. It's going to hurt tomorrow, but every once in a while I have to give myself that reminder.